guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm coming back to you guys with the How to Clean Your Credit 101 video, and this title is going to be Letters to Collection Agencies. I'm going to teach you and tell you about the letters that you need to send to these collection agencies and how to do that and what you need to do. And if you want to know how to do that, make sure you watch this video. If you have not seen my intro and my part 2, which is labeled Getting Started, then you might want to check those videos out before watching this one, because this video won't make any sense to you, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. Just a little disclaimer, I am not a professional. These are things that I've done and has worked for me and my husband as far as our credit, but I am just helping those out there and putting out positive energy in hopes that I can help someone else with our situation. So, all right. I'm not going to recap what I said in my previous videos because I'm directing you guys to watch those videos, okay? So I'm not going to talk about anything in that video, those 2 videos. I'm just going to go right into the writing of the letters, okay? Number 1, never admit to a debt. I don't care if you owe it or not. Don't ever admit to it. Number 2, you need to keep record of every single thing that you do with these companies. Always, always, I repeat, always. Deal with them in writing only, okay? You need to keep record. Dealing with them in letter form and writing form is going to prove it's on paper. So you can't, credit bureaus are not going to go by word of mouth. They need to see proof that you have dealt with these companies in the event that they don't remove these items from your credit report, okay? You have to deal with them certified mail. If you do not with certified mail, if you do not know what certified mail is, this is what it looks like. You go in your post office, your local post office, you get one of these. It has like a little slip attached to it. What you need to do is, write the address and everything like that. This is going to be your receipt. When they rip it off, this is going to be your receipt. Then you're going to get an email, a tracking email of when the item was received. You can track it to see when these companies receive your letter, and also the timestamp on there shows when you sent the letter, because this is going to be a timed process as well, okay? Make sure you hold on to everything that you have. Do not throw anything away. Even keep the collection letters, keep the letters that you send, keep their responses, keep everything together, and I suggest you separate them according to each debt that you owe. Okay, there's going to be 3 types of letters you need to rotate between, only 3. It'll be a dispute letter and a validation letter, and also a pay for delete letter, okay? The dispute letters are when you want to dispute an item that you A, know you didn't pay, B, there's a discrepancy on the actual amount that you owe, and or time discrepancies, or address if you didn't live there and stuff like that. For example, my husband had a bill from Comcast where they said it was in Georgia, and we've never lived in the state of Georgia, so he was able to dispute that by sending a dispute letter. Disputing a debt is for debts you do not owe or feel that you do not owe, and if there's any discrepancies with the debt, okay? Don't try to dispute everything that you obviously know that you've done because that's not going to work. It's not wise to do that, because they're going to see a pattern that you're trying to dispute everything that you may or may not owe. Don't do that. That's going to send like a red flag. A validation letter is when you send a letter to the collection agency. Basically, you want them to verify the date, the amount, and the original company that puts you in collection. They have 30 days to respond via mail. Dispute it. Once you get that validation letter, you basically know what you plan on doing with that. Either A, you're going to dispute it, or B, you're going to try to pay it, okay? All right, moving on. The last and final letter, which is probably the most important letter. This is a letter for if you really decide that you feel like, hey, okay, I'm gonna pay this. This is after you've gotten a validation letter. I feel that you should send the validation letter for a debt that you know that you might have and it is yours. I would send the validation letter first so they can validate. If they can't validate that within 30 days, they have to remove it by the law, by the licensing company who gives them the right to collect the debt. They have to show proof of how it began, how it started, and what the amount is. If they can't do that, then they have to remove it. Now, the pay for delete letter is the letter where you decide after it's been validated that, hey, I'm gonna pay this, okay? The validation letter is either you can pay it in full or you can choose. The ball is in your court. You can choose what you want to pay. Like, say, hey, you owe Sprint $500, okay? And they validated that, hey, this is your debt. You owe Sprint $500, okay? So you get the validation letter. You're like, okay, I want to pay this, but I don't have all the money that I don't have $500. So you put in a letter that you have. Say you only have $100. I'm not gonna. In the letter, you're basically stating, I am not admitting to this debt, but I would like to take care of this debt, even though I'm not saying it's mine. It's not mine, but I want to take care of the debt. So you tell them how much you want to pay, and if they agree, they have to remove it. But in the letter, you have to state, I'm willing to pay X, Y, Z, or pay this in full as long as you agree to remove it off of my credit report. That's the key. The pay for delete letter is that you want them to remove it. Now, if they agree to remove it and you have it in writing, they have to remove it within 10 business days, okay? So this is a very important letter. Now, in the event that you make this agreement, you have to wait until they send you a response. So you send the pay for delete. If they respond and say, hey, Mrs. Johns, yes, we'll go ahead and make this agreement. You give us $100. Make sure you send your payment certified mail. Don't do anything by phone. Make sure you keep copies of your payment and everything that you've done. They say, yes, okay, we'll agree. You pay us this $100 or this XYZ, we'll remove it from your credit. Now you have a letter saying that they will remove it after you pay it, okay? In the event that they try to pull a trickery on you and say, and don't remove it, you have proof that they said that they would. And by law, well, by the company that allows them to collect, you can send that letter to the credit bureau where that debt is, and the credit bureau will make them remove it. So this letter is the most important one because this is actually going to remove that debt off your credit. Now, I think in the last video I said you cannot remove closed accounts, charged off accounts that you've paid off already and it says closed on your credit report. You have to let it drop off within 7 days. And to be honest with you, sometimes it will drop off before the 7-year period, 7 to 10 year period. I have actually seen it happen. I've had items drop off 4 to 5 years before it was the official drop off date. But just keep in mind, collection agencies will still send you letters. For example, my husband had a debt on his credit report that actually fell off about a month or two ago. Now a different credit agency has received that debt and are trying to collect on that debt. So please keep in mind that if you see a letter from a collection agency where a previous collection agency tried to collect that debt and it's now fallen off, they can still try to collect it, okay? But just remember, keep hold of everything. Just don't panic. If something has fallen off your credit and you're like, oh my God, another company sent me a different collection company sent me a letter trying to collect on the same debt that fell off a month or two ago, don't worry about it. Just follow these steps, okay? Don't, matter of fact, for example, we're gonna be doing this together because my husband received a collection notice that I'm looking at right now, which has been bought out by a different collection agency, and they're trying to do a settlement. I'm just gonna let this ride out because I know that it fell off his credit, and I also know that they can still try to collect it, but I mean, I'm not gonna respond to it, okay? So again, there's the dispute letter, the validation letter, and the pay for delete letter. Remember these 3 letters. What I'm gonna do is try to put some links down below of the sample letters that I use because I have them on my computer and I don't think I can put like a Word document down below my video. I don't know if I can do that, but if I can, I will just insert my own letters that I basically went to Google, pay for delete collection letter in the search bar, or validation collection letter in the search bar, or dispute letter collection dispute letter in the search bar. They will come up. There's all different variations of these letters. All I did was copy and paste it to my Word document and just changed my name, the amount, the account numbers on that specific letter, and use that as a template. So that's what you can do too. So if I can, I will go ahead and, you know, put the links that I've used before. If I can, I remember what they look like. I would just have to go back in and search for them again, but I will definitely try to link them down below. If not, definitely go to Google, go in the search bar, dispute letter, validation letter, or pay for delete letter, okay? That is pretty easy to do. Also, keep in mind that most collection agencies will pretty much agree to anything, especially with that pay for delete letter. I've worked for a collection agency before years ago, and I remember when I worked there, it was all about commission. I did get an hourly base when I worked there, but I also had to meet some sort of quota on collecting these old accounts, because what they do is the company that you originally owe will say, hey, this person owes us a bill, so we're gonna send it to another party where they can try to hound this person and collect what they owe us. And if they can't do it, then we're gonna send it to another collection agency. They will pass your collection on just so they can collect it from you. So you gotta learn how to play their game with them. And again, remember, they have to meet a quota. So if you send them a pay for delete letter saying you'll give them 20, 30 bucks, I'm not saying if you owe $500 and you send $20, don't, at least try to pay a third of the bill if it's yours. They will take it. They're gonna take it. They will take it. If not, they're going to delete it completely off of your credit report, because a lot of them know that if they agree, then they're stuck. They have to take it off, and they don't want to do that because they still want to be able to collect from you. So which has happened to my husband. I sent a pay for delete letter. No, was it me? No, actually, I take that back. I actually have a few pay for delete letters that I'm sending on behalf of myself, and I will come back and do a video on the outcome of that. Just remember, this is all time consuming, so give it 30, 60, 90 days, okay? Give it 90 days, give or take 90 days. You're gonna see a drastic change of what's on your credit report and what's not on your credit report, okay? So just sit tight, be patient, they'll come off. Don't get discouraged if something stays on. Again, the closed accounts, you gotta remember, closed accounts have to drop off within 7 to 10 years, okay? And then from that point on, you can just decide on which letter you would really like to send to these collection agencies to get these collections and debts resolved, which is pretty easy. You can do this yourself. I've done this myself. I've worked on my husband. As I stated in the last video, I took my husband from like a 540 to a 650 in a matter of 3 months, 4 months. I started doing my letter. I sent out the letters in May. It is now September. He is at a 650 right now. I'm telling you, do it. If you have any questions, comment down below. If I didn't say something in this video, please let me know. I'm gonna make one more video, basically it's gonna be a very short video. It's gonna be a recap of everything that I've kind of said in a nutshell, but it's gonna be a short video. So but this is the last and pretty much final installment of this series. And again, the next video will be a recap video of what we discussed before. Now, don't feel discouraged. You know, keep your head up. I know it's hard out there in these streets, but I mean, credit is very serious, especially when you want to buy a home and a car. I know you guys want them dream homes, them dream cars, and you can get them. You can definitely get them. If you have any questions, let me know, okay? I will try to link those sample letter templates down below so you can just copy and paste them and save them onto your computer and use those as a reference.